depicted on these three graphs. Take down this three graphs. The first one is you can see this operating point variation we have shown here. The first graph indicates operation of variation of operating point with the base current. Last class we illustrated with three different variations. The first one is change in base current, change in collector resistance, and lastly change in supply voltage. These are the three parameters. Changing this will also change the operating point. So that's what we see in this three graphs. Operating point variations with respect to different variations in base current, collector resistance, and as well as supply voltage. Look at the first curve. What we have indicated here is this is the output characteristics of common emitter configuration. And this point, you know that how we obtain this point. Okay. So this is VCC comma 0, and obviously this is 0 comma VCC over RC. You can indicate this point as an A point and this point as an B point. This is these 2 points we obtained from the output equation, DC equation of the common emitter characteristics. This is called as a load line. Okay. So right now we are doing load line analysis of fixed bias circuit. You can see that load line on what it depends upon. Okay. Once you fix the load line, look at intersections here. Okay. Because if you choose IB1 as the base current, the intersection is here. This becomes an operating point. If you look at second base current larger than the IB1, say IB2, if I choose this as the base current, then Q2 will be the operating point. And lastly, if you choose larger of among these two, these three, IB1 as well as IB2, if I choose larger value as IB3, Q3 becomes an operating point. So what the first graph shows is changing the base current changes the operating point with a fixed AC load line. You understand from this first graph? Okay. So always to fix an operating point, base current must be fixed. If you vary the base current, you are going to get different operating points. So among these, which is required one or suitable one is going to be the Q2 as an operating point, because this will be the middle of the active region. This region corresponds to the active region of the common emitter transistor. So Q2 is going to be the suitable operating for the base current, which is IB2. And here we assume that only the base current is varying. So because of that, we get different operating points, and we are assuming other things are constant. Look at that, other things are going to be collector resistance is constant, and even supply voltage is constant. Okay, only thing is base current is varying. Look at second graph, where we keep the base current constant and supply voltage as a constant, but we are going to vary the collector resistance. We have to choose collector resistance in such a way that must satisfy this condition if you want to see the various operating points. Okay, so look at that RC1 is very small value and RC3 is larger value. Okay, if you choose this and plot a various AC load lines, you are going to get this particular lines here, straight lines here. One with a small value of RC, which is called as BCC or RC1, you get an end point here. But BCC is fixed, this point will not change. But only thing is RC has been changed. Smaller the value of RC, you get a larger current. So that's why this point is away from these 2 points. Okay. And look at the second point, BCC over RC2, medium value of RC. BCC over RC3, large value of RC. Larger than RC, current will be less. So that's why you get a point lower than these 2 points. And look at operating point now. Let me fix some base current now. Without fixing base current, we cannot fix an operating point. Here the variations are base current, but here I must fix some base current. Say for example, I am fixing that IB. It may be the 20 microampere say. Okay. Now look at that, where you get the operating points. So you get 3 different operating points. Okay. If I choose VCC over RC1 as an operating point, this will be the load line. This will be the operating point. Let us call this as a Q1 is the operating point. Even the base current and supply voltages are kept constant. Look at the second AC load line. When you choose RC2 as the character resistance, okay, this will be the load line and operating point. Say for example, for this, since IB is fixed, Q2 will be the operating point. And finally, if you choose RC as RC3, the operating point shifts somewhere in the VC sat. It's nothing but D region. What we call. So let us call this operating point as a Q2. You get the 3 different operating points. And also you get 3 different load lines because of variations in the resistance. In this case, you can look at here, how do you change the base current? If you want to see the different operating points, how do you change the base current? Look at the original circuit. Changing the RB changes the base current. Suppose if you make it RB as smaller, you get the larger base current here. If you want to increase the RB, IB will be very small. Larger the resistance, current will be small. Smaller the resistance, okay, current will be large. Same way here also. So here what we are expecting is RC should be changed. Okay. So if you change RC, you get a different AC load line, corresponding to it you get different operating points. Q1, Q2, Q3 respectively. But BCC is fixed points. Look at the third characteristics, output characteristics with AC load lines, which are superimposed on the output characteristics. These are nothing but load lines. You can see that the different values of BCC. Large BCC, which were taken as BCC1, smaller BCC, which we are called here as BCC3. Okay, and look at similar things in the y-axis, BCC1 or RC. This point is the extreme, outside, the outer the load line is going to go to load line, and you can see now here. Suppose if I fix again the base current. Say for example, I am fixing this particular curve for the base current now. Again, you get 3 different operating points. So here you can see wherever the first line intersects with IB curve, let us call this operating point as a Q1. Where second load line intersects with IB curve, which we call as Q2 as the operating point, and finally where the third load line intersects with this IB curve, we call Q3 as an operating point. Since the supply voltage has been changed, different supply voltage aids a different load line and accordingly different quiescent points. But all these quiescent points are not going to give you the faithful amplifications. You are looking, the quiescent point here, different quiescent points here, and different quiescent points here, and different quiescent points here. Okay. Now the question is now, which is going to be suitable, the operating point. So the question here now, so varying, the operating point changes with respect to supply voltage, collector resistance, as well as base resistance. Okay. You must fix, all these 3 quantities. Suppose if you vary the RC, 2 point changes. That means RC should not be varied. If at all supply voltage changes, Q point also changes. So keep always supply voltage constant. Don't allow it to vary. And similarly, the base current even changes, so accordingly the Q point also changes. Don't allow base current to change. Fix it with one base current. So that's what these 3 graphs will signify. Any questions have been with respect to this, these 3 variations? In examination, it asks you to explain operating point variation with respect to the base current, character resistance, and supply voltage. You can explain with these 3 curves. Okay. And give suitable explanation for this. At last, on the fixed bias circuit, we need to discuss merits and demerits, advantages and disadvantages of fixed bias circuit. advantages. Advantages of fixed bias circuit. There are a few advantages of the fixed bias circuit. If you look at circuit, only thing is you find the less number of components, right? How many components you need to make a fixed bias circuit? Just two resistors, one bipolar junction transistor. Along with that, we need to have one power supply. Okay, very simple components, right? So that's going to be the advantage here. The advantage of this fixed bias circuit is the circuit is going to be very simple. Okay. Right here, the fixed bias circuit is the simplest among biasing circuits. You can give reason here why it is going to be simplest, because this uses just the two resistors. Along with that, we need to have one BJT, NPN or PNP. Okay, one BJT is enough, and apart from that, we need DC supply voltage. Okay, this is one DC supply voltage which is enough. You can construct a fixed bias circuit. Okay, having these components, two resistors are nothing but RB, Rs. These are the two resistors. Having this, you can rig up an amplifier. This is simple. Two resistors, one transistor, one DC supply. Enough. You can make an amplifier. But of course, this circuit has got so many drawbacks also. We'll explain that. So you can take it next as disadvantages of fixed bias circuit. Disadvantages. Any disadvantages you find here? You already see variations now, few point variations. You see that the conductor current keeps on changing. Okay. Stability is going to be the very big problem in case of fixed bias circuit. Maintaining the operating point itself is very difficult. Okay. So we can say that the worst stability the fixed bias circuit has having, so it's very difficult to maintain the stability in this case. You can take up here. The first disadvantage is going to be the worst stability, against variation in temperature, or transistor gain bigger. Sometimes beta may change, sometimes the temperature may change. Stability maintenance is very difficult in this case, in this particular circuit. That's going to be one of the drawback of fixed bias circuit. There is another drawback. This is more this thermal runaway is going to be one of the biggest problem which is going to occur in this particular fixed bias circuit. So we'll discuss this later. Okay, the thermal runaway. Okay, occurs in fixed bias circuit. We explained already what is thermal runaway. Thermal runaway is nothing but it's a phenomenon where a condition where the transistor is going to burn out because of excess current will be flowing through the transistor. If the excess current flows, whatever its capacity, then the thermal runaway is going to occur. Thermal means it's heat related. Excess heat is going to generate. When the transistor is not capable of removing excess heat, it is going to be prone to the phenomenon called as thermal runaway. So, through the mathematical aspect, we'll explain what is thermal runaway because it's one of the topic in your syllabus. Okay. Usually, it is asking for 5 to 6 marks in the examination. So, we'll deal with this later. But one of the main drawback of fixed bias circuit is this is prone to have fixed bias circuit, fixed bias amplifier circuit. These are all the advantages and the disadvantages of fixed bias circuit. Tomorrow's class will take up some problems, one problem on this. Along with we'll go for the next type of bias circuit, is self bias circuit. Get an absent. I cannot later on manipulate this. Okay.